Okay, that's easy enough. Let's get started on this episode of the podcast that we are currently recording.
What's that called?
Why
What's
aren't
that
you
called
talking?
again? What's that called? I
Why aren't you
forgot.
talking? Why aren't you talking?
I legitimately, my brain shut down for a moment. I kind of just zoned out.
Oh, that's sick,
I was
man.
listening to you say stuff. I was like, oh, wow, okay, we're doing... Oh, wait, whoa, we started.
Yeah, that's why I clicked record. You fucking... Why? Why would you do that to me?
Oh, man, I don't know. Why does my brain do anything?
Because you can't die.
God,
All right.
if only.
So, before we...
Oh, we doing up-to-date news?
I
It's
got
gonna be,
some.
It's going to be out of date in a month?
May as well.
Is there anything about the OGL?
Maybe.
That we won?
We could have talked about it, but that, if I talk about that immediately, it's going to be like a 50-minute fucking tirade from you. So, recording what, like almost end of January?
Yeah.
So that's just a thing for that.
This is the last weekend of January.
So let's see, what, some of these are fine to have, some of these are like super small.
What are we at?
If you haven't been looking at, I told you about this, the Redfall,
Nope.
video game, Bethesda and Arcane Studios.
Oh, yeah, okay, so like
Vampires.
I haven't looked super deep into it. I just know that it's a thing.
They did like a gameplay, not reveal, but like I don't know how they call it, a gameplay direct type thing.
Yeah.
But it's from the people who made Dishonored series, Arcane Studios. Gameplay wise, from the trailer, it actually looked like Dishonored style.
That's not a bad thing.
No,
that is not a bad thing.
No, it's not at all.
I was actually doing a Dishonored playthrough. I have a game saved right at the end, so I can do New Game Plus whenever I want.
Yep.
And yeah, that's actually turning out really fun.
But supposedly Redfall is between Bethesda and Arcane Studios. It's an open world cooperative FPS.
It's co-op?
It's co-op.
Oh, I didn't even know they did multiplayer games.
It's going to be a co-op game. Starting out, it will have 4 characters that you can play from. It's not customize your character.
I mean,
well,
that's okay.
Yeah,
that's not a bad thing. I like customization. It's not necessary.
But they have their own special powers and personalities, I guess, in the DLCs that they have coming up. I think they're gonna have like 2 DLC characters eventually. Like the Dishonored series, you can go in running, gunning, literally, or you can sneak around and take out vampires.
That is literally gonna be the worst thing to do in multiplayer. Is like being the being the sneaky guy and then being forced to run and gun.
Yeah.
Because your teammates just like either they screwed up or they're just like Yahoo!
It's the tough thing is like in a lot of those games where you can co-op stealth is like even if you have the plan and it's like, oh yeah, shoot all at once type thing, it can still get screwed up no matter what. Yeah. Which whatever.
I'm sure it'll still be a fun game.
Oh,
like even if it just has Dishonored like play style, that's a really good like play style.
It has guns and it has melee, as far as I can tell. So it will be it just has that art style of it. You can, huh?
But will it have magic?
So the thing of it is each of the 4 characters have different abilities, powers, and gadgets of whatnots. So the one guy apparently he has something called an undead eye. I guess it probably will allow him to see stuff. He has a cloaking device, which is technology. And he also has the power to summon an ethereal raven, which either helps him in combat or just scouts stuff out.
Okay.
There's a girl that... No, that's not a girl. That's a guy that uses a staff that shoots ultraviolet light.
Okay.
Like in a radius. From the descriptions I saw.
Gotcha. It's like a radiation thing? Or
yeah.
Like...
Well, it's ultraviolet light.
Okay.
Vampires don't like.
Oh, yeah. I forgot vampires.
It's a game about fighting vampires in Massachusetts. Come on. And then this guy apparently uses the unconventional weapons and gadgets to mod or craft upgrades. From what the descriptions I was able to pull.
Okay.
There's one of the other playable characters is a robotic engineer. She will have a little robo companion.
My favorite immediately.
A permanent, I think it's a permanent, or it might be an ability. It can either be used as a distraction, it can attack, it can turn into a drone, most likely.
I always love summoning characters. Like, Gage from Borderlands 2 was my favorite character. Yeah. Not because, Deathtrap was completely unkillable, but just the fact that you could summon Deathtrap.
Yeah, right.
Love it.
And then the final one is another woman that has telekinesis.
Ooh.
pushing, pulling things, objects.
Yeah.
Making shields, and apparently a weapon that can charge her powers into like a concentrated blast almost. All in all, they all use guns. Because that's like the main focus is guns, and then those secondary powers. But apparently it's a story-driven, open-world co-op FPS game, fighting against the vampires that invade Redfall, Massachusetts. Hence the name of the game being Redfall.
Massachusetts. That's an interesting... So do we have like a time frame for it? Like time period?
I was not able to find that, no. But it looks modern enough, like our time.
Oh, okay.
Except, they have ethereal powers.
Yeah, like there's alternate timeline thing. Yeah.
But they have all that, the 4 characters to choose from. I saw in the gameplay that they were talking about like a vampire nest. Like, so there's main missions, there's side missions, but it's an open world, so you can go and do whatever the hell you want. But then there's something called either it's a vampire nest or there are vampire nests that you go in, and it might be a dungeon or it might be a procedurally generated dungeon. That would be pretty cool. You go in, you defeat the heart. Yeah, and you probably get loot, but it's like
it's something worth looking into at least.
Yeah. Like, it looks like it might be like a looter game too, where either completing quests you find loot, or you get loot, or you just find it around the world and killing enemies for that. Gameplay and gunplay looked okay from the gameplay trailer. It wasn't like a full gameplay trailer. It was
a highlight.
Here's this section with this character, and you see them walk around, shoot some vampires. And then it will be like, oh, let's go check out this other character, see what they're doing.
I mean, that's still a gameplay trailer, so it's just not like a
it's not showing the HUD. Yeah. It's not showing you the menus and all that. So the release date for that is actually May 2nd this year.
Really?
PC and Xbox.
Damn.
It'll be interesting if they decide to put it on other consoles, but I really don't care either way.
Listen, we're all getting just mods for the PC, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if they eventually put mods on for that.
Don't worry, someone will.
Short one that I don't care about anymore because it's from a shitty company. I'm not actually going to talk about that. That doesn't fucking matter. Mm-hmm. As of recording, Dead Space 1 remake came out yesterday.
Oh my god, was that released?
Came out yesterday.
Oh my god, I completely missed that.
Since I never played Dead Space 1, and Bear was talking to me yesterday about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll probably get it.
I knew that was coming out. I thought that was later this year. I didn't think
No.
Oh my god,
they released
I completely missed that.
Has New Game Plus at launch, which is always good.
Yeah.
It's a remake. There's good things about it, and there's bad things, but even the bad things, not bad.
They're just like, different.
Literally minuscule. People aren't super happy of how Isaac...
Of course not.
They're not happy how he looks in the remake.
Of course not.
But they're remaking his entire fucking body and almost every other character in a new engine.
It's the same with Mass Effect.
It's the same with Mass Effect.
I will say, because they had to completely rebuild Mass Effect 1 from scratch. Like, Mass Effects 2 and 3, they basically just copied and pasted the stuff over. Mass Effect 1, if they even did that, they might have just, like, taken the game and put it in. But Mass Effect 1, they rebuilt basically from scratch. Mm-hmm. And I will personally say, it looks amazing.
Oh, yeah, Mass Effect 1 on the remake is good. I would assume, at least 2 and 3, they're like, we can touch up some stuff. A remastering, not a permanent remake.
I'm not even sure they really touched anything up in Mass Effect
2 really didn't have to.
I think they just ported it to the new engine.
Yeah.
And that's it. Because, like, some of the things, like, it moves cleaner. It looks cleaner. Like, there's less, like, fog and stuff in the background in some cases. But then there's other cases where, like, the opposite is true.
See. Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, even in those, like, the originals, you could still see stuff like that, too. But Mass Effect 1, oh my god, that is... I still say that is the pinnacle of what a remake should be. And that's only... I will say, I haven't seen the Demon Souls one. I know. A lot of people say that's a good one, too.
Holy shit, like, they changed Demon Souls.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I have to actually play it because I never beat first one and I barely played this one.
Actually, that's a remake. Demon Souls is a remake. I think Mass Effect
is a remake.
The Mass Effect's a remaster.
Remastering.
Yeah.
Those two words get mixed up, and people are stupid when they think, "Oh, this is bad."
Well, it's like the best example is Final Fantasy VII. That is a remake, not a remaster.
Yes, but Dead Space 1 released yesterday, as of recording this on January 27th. The New Game Plus, a really good, apparently like a new suit was added. I think you have to beat the game to get the new suit.
That's fair.
A new variant of the necromorphs that are called phantoms. It's phantom necromorphs. But from what it seems, and a secret ending with those necromorphs, a secret ending that alludes
Are they going to be
to making a Dead Space 2 remake, baby.
Oh my god. All right.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
That's very, very good.
I'm not opposed to it. I'm very concerned about it.
Dead Space 3 sucked. Bad.
Yeah.
Dead Space 2 was an amazing game.
Yeah,
that's the one I started.
I watched a playthrough of all three. Well, I played with you for Dead Space 3. I watched a playthrough for the other two.
Dead Space 2 is amazing,
and it was pretty good.
Depending on what this looks like, because I know I'm gonna get it on PC, and depending what it looks like, remake wise, I know because from the trailers and all that it looked really good. So if they make a Dead Space 2 remake, it's gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
But with like the Phantom Necromorphs and that, I haven't played it yet. Most likely it's already online, but like it might to allude how he gets from the end of 1 happens to the start of 2 where he's strapped in the straitjacket.
I thought they covered that.
Maybe. I have no idea. But that's the one cool thing about that, the secret ending.
That's neat.
From last week, or 2 weeks ago?
I guess it would be 2 weeks.
We said 343 wasn't making Halo anymore.
Yeah,
that was a lie.
Messed that up.
That was a shitty rumor. Yep. I
was gonna say that didn't sound.
It doesn't, yeah.
Because I was thinking about that, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. Because like that's literally what they were made for. Like a change in management, sure, but like
maybe one of their producers or something left.
Maybe I wouldn't know. I have not paid attention to 343 in a long time. They actually, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. Other than Halo Infinite's multiplayer when it first launched, and that opening weekend was fun as hell.
Yeah.
I don't think I have ever paid attention to what 343 has done.
Oh yeah, I don't give a shit.
I actually pay more attention to what Bungie does with Destiny now than anything to do with Halo, unfortunately. It sucks because I used to love Halo.
I think I got like 2 or 3 that I can make super short, and then the one big that we can kind of go a few minutes into.
What do you mean? Like what we're actually...
So this is for my own enjoyment, but Diablo 3, Season 28, they're going to be starting hopefully mid-February.
Okay.
Which is like their seasonal stuff, because I have no reason to ever go back to the game unless they have a season thing. They're doing a new, on their public test run at the end of January, they have an update that's supposed to add a good fair bit of changes to, I think, how you gain certain resources and can craft things.
And it's Diablo 3, not Diablo
4. Diablo 3, yeah. Okay. People are saying that Season 28 is going to be the last season until 4 comes out in June.
I was about to ask, when is Diablo 4 coming out?
June.
That's June? Okay.
I think maybe June 6th, but it should be June.
It'll be my birthday.
There you go. And then we can play Diablo 4 and then get struck with microtransactions of all the cosmetics. And,
yep, that's how it goes.
Launch day is going to be probably the same as Diablo 3, where you get an error saying you can't join.
Yeah.
Paizo... This was a while back, but Paizo with their ORC.
The orc license?
The orc license. The 1,500 people. Publishers, 1,500. I put that on 1,500 people signed up for that.
Oh, hell yeah.
But that was like a few weeks back.
I think some of the only like major ones that didn't sign up was like Shadowrun.
Yeah.
I remember I remember there was a lot of memes about that. I had to look and I was like, I have no clue what's going on here, but there were a lot of memes about it. I looked it up and it's like, oh, they never signed the orc license. Okay.
I guess they just didn't. I don't know.
That's fine.
They don't have to.
Yeah, no. But the whole thing with the orc license is literally, and that was the whole thing with the open gaming license originally, was that we as players could make content for them, so they don't have to. Like we make expansions, but you still have to buy the base books to play those expansions. And I guess Shadowrun's like, no, you don't make the expansions. We make the expansions. Kind of like, I won't say Wizards of the Coast wanted to do something different with theirs. To
wrap it all in one thing, it's just WotC and Hasbro were like, we're going to take 30% of your revenue from stuff you make. We're also going to take 30% from retroactive stuff.
Fun fact, which like that is highly illegal.
A lot of bullshit.
In a lot of cases.
They don't give a fuck.
But we won that. They have not changed the OGL. They're like, all right,
they're not going to deauthorize the original OGL.
Yeah, you can still work under the original for 5e. Going forward, you can choose to do the new one
depending on what they're gonna put forward for for another OGL. Just have to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah,
especially when 1 D&D comes out.
Yep. Well, the thing is they're moving towards a digital service-based platform.
Yeah.
So that they can squeeze out as much cash as they can. That's literally all it is. And that's actually why they gave up on the OGL change, is because for that service-based platform, they had to buy 1D&D, and everyone stopped using 1D&D.
Jesus.
It was that crazy numbers were just gone.
A few weeks ago, we were talking about Skyrim having a shit ton of releases.
Yeah. Did you count them?
I found the tweet.
All right, how many?
So this is what it was. Skyrim overtook Resident Evil 4 on re-releases. Resident Evil 4 has been ported and redone a shit ton.
Yeah, no, I knew that.
And apparently this is an old one from...
What number we got?
From 2021.
Do we have a number?
11 re-releases of Resident Evil 4, 12 of Skyrim.
Only?
360 PC through PS3 Switch, then the special edition, which was PS4, Xbox One, PC, Anniversary, the new consoles and PC.
Skyrim for the fridge.
Yeah, Skyrim for the fridge. But Resident Evil 4 was about the same. This one doesn't even have VR on it, so it's actually more. That's funny.
Damn.
I said, it's an old tweet.
I figured Skyrim would be closer to 20 by this point.
It most likely is.
You know, in like a few more years, they're going to release it again. It's the 15th anniversary.
I mean, may as well, man. If they can keep making money off of it, why not, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I am not going to begrudge Todd
It's so
Howard,
stupid that people are like, oh, I don't like it that they do it. It's like,
as long as he's working on his other stuff, like they are working on Skyrim 6, but they're just re-releasing Skyrim 6, Elder Scrolls 6. I can't believe I just said
they're
that.
gonna call it Skyrim 6. Yeah.
As long as they're working on Elder Scrolls 6 and other things like that, I do not care how many times they re-release Skyrim in the meantime, or even afterwards.
Yeah. But so that's it for those little news bits, because a lot of that stuff is gonna be around for a while, / probably still being worked on, type stuff like the WotC. Yeah. I don't know, the WotC stuff probably is done for now.
It's done for now, like today, but by the time we're probably uploading this video, something will
like,
come back.
Yeah, this is happening now.
Yeah.
But, so for today...
What do we got?
We got more Elder Scrolls.
Ooh, boy!
But we have one specific being in Elder Scrolls.
Oh, so we're not going blind today?
What do you mean blind?
The moth priests go blind when they read the Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, we're not reading the Elder Scrolls.
Are we actually reading them today?
I actually brought an Elder Scroll with us.
Todd Howard gave me the one Elder Scroll.
Todd Howard came over here. He's like, "Here's the Elder Scroll." And I'm like, "Todd, how'd you get my address?"
You bought Skyrim 15 times.
You bought Skyrim Anniversary on 3 separate consoles, man. But no, today we're going to be talking about one of the 9 divines. Technically not considered divine until he ascended to godhood.
Yes! We're talking about Talos!
We are talking about Talos, a.k.a. Tiber Septim, a.k.a. Ysmir, a.k.a. Dragonborn.
Possibly Ysgramor.
A.k.a.
There's a theory about that.
Hjalti Earlybeard.
What? I know he went by a lot of names,
get to
but what?
So like last night I was writing it up and I just kept finding more shit. So it might not be. I have the timeline of his reign, but I don't.
God damn, this guy is just based off Thor, isn't he?
I mean, he's better. He's better than Thor. Thor's a fucking bitch. It depends. We're not. If you're talking about MCU Thor, that is something I don't.
That's a whole.
I hate MCU.
Yeah,
it's stupid and it's dumb.
They used to be awesome.
And war was good, that's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
But, so yeah, well, let's talk about Talos, who apparently is the god of war and governance, from what I was able to find.
Governance? Interesting.
Yep. So, I will start with...
I guess that makes sense with the Empire, actually.
Yeah, I'll start with some random stuff, like, just however it works here, and then maybe I'll try to do the timeline. I have the timeline, like, in bullet points.
Okay.
That way, it's like, this was when he was birthed. When he did this.
I know, like, Talos is a huge deal, particularly for the men, rather than the mer. But I actually don't know his story, so this will actually be kind of cool.
Yep.
This will be to listen to.
So this one should... Let's just start that off here. So, Talos, or Tiber Septim, Ysmir, Dragonborn.
Name.
And heir to the seat of the Sundered Kings, which is the holy middle ground of Cyrodiil. Like
okay,
that.
gotcha.
There's no, like, actual
Cyrodiil hasn't been formed yet.
wiki
Yeah.
of Seed of Sundergated. The heart of Cyrodiil. Cyrodiil, however, Cyrodiil.
It's Cyrodiil.
Cyrodiil.
Yeah, if you play Oblivion, you play in...
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It's the way it's spelled is...
Yeah, it's weird.
He was the most important hero god to all of mankind. That's what they claimed him to be when he ascended to his godhood. So much of his life is of Tiber Septim is known.
Just being a badass.
Just known being a badass, but it's also shrouded in some mystery because, like, of all lore of gods or whatever, religious teachings, myths, word of mouth.
Okay, fair.
It's tough to know what was true. There is a record because in the Mythic era, that's when recorded history started.
You mean the Murthic era?
The Mythic era. They were able to record history, and then when the men came along and all the other races, they can still record more.
So there's like a pseudo-recorded history, but it's like a second-hand stuff.
There's like actual written record of like the events of the second era, third era.
Gotcha.
So, much of his life was shrouded in legend and hearsay, the rumors and religious teachings. But one indisputable actual fact is he became the first person to successfully unite all of Tamriel.
Yep.
So Tamriel is the continent, one of the continents on Nirn.
Right.
He was able to unite the entire fucking continent under one empire.
Fucking badass.
In 40 years.
Jesus Christ.
Let me double check. Yes, 40 years he was able to do that.
Damn.
The entire continent. That's what is that? That's High Rock, Hammerfell, Skyrim, Cyrodiil,
Black Marsh,
Elsewhere. Vardenfell, Morrowind, Somerset Isles.
I think Elsewhere's on there as well.
Elsewhere.
Right? Yeah.
All of those. He was able to unite all of those under one singular empire.
God damn. Hence the empire. Yeah.
Yeah. He created his own era. I mean, because the second era ended.
Right.
And then he became that.
He was the third era.
When he was crowned emperor, he started the third era. He was worshipped as the protector and patron of just rulership and civil society for all people. And for the Nords, they called him Ysmir because of kind of the same connotations, but in their own
language.
In their own language and religious reasons. Who for Ysmir, he is the patron of questing heroes.
Gotcha. So Ysmir, so I know that they say like by Ysmir, whatever.
Yep.
I never knew they were talking about Talos.
Because of the war between the Empire and the Aldemir Dominion.
Yeah.
The Thalmor.
Yeah.
Nords in Skyrim.
They ban Talos. Yeah.
Don't give a shit about that law.
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
That's one of the parts I can get into.
Like Talos is like the Nords' patron god. Too,
that's why,
right?
By Ysmir. Yep. Yeah, that's why.
Interesting.
And of course, as all religious things can be, and certain gods and deities, certain parties don't like that. Shock and dismay.
Yep.
Wait.
Well, to be fair, the Aldmeri Dominion, and specifically the High Elves, are dicks.
Yeah.
Like, I think that I've, even playing like back in Oblivion and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I think there are like 3, maybe 4 High Elves that you can run into that just aren't assholes right off the bat.
Oh yeah, they're just pieces of shit for that.
They as a species are just kind of dicks.
What's up? Tiber Septim. This is like not confirmed facts. I have a lot of like unconfirmed facts, even
rumors,
even in like the text and lore.
Okay.
That he had like certain not too sure for sure things that I had bolded out in here, so I would know to actually let this know. He was a subspecies of men. So there were Mer, which then turned to men, which then have all the other races: Breton, Nord, Imperial. The men, not the beast races.
There's the beast races. There's the Mer, which are the elves and the orcs, and then there's the men, which is everything else.
Everything else, all the human-looking people. Yeah. Well, they're all human. Yeah.
The ones without pointy ears.
Yeah. That can, okay.
I think that's pretty much it. I think all the Mer have pointy ears.
So he was a subspecies of men. He was most likely, they can't really confirm if he was no, he was not an Imperial.
Oh, okay.
He was not an Imperial. Most likely a Breton or a Nord.
I would assume,
depending on who you talk to.
I would almost assume Nord just because of the fact that he's their patron. Like, you would think
most likely for the Skyrim people, like he was a Nord, but if you're talking like Cyrodiil, that area, the Imperial capital, they're like, oh yeah, maybe he looked Breton-ish. But there is a little bit of a certain character you meet in a game about that.
Okay.
During the Tiber Wars, which is the wars he had to conquer, it is stated that he was not an Imperial, but Wolf, W-U-L-F, a person you meet in the Morrowind video game.
I still need to play that. I
You
really
don't?
no, I do, because like I like the Elder Scrolls lore, and there's a lot of it in Morrowind.
If you go in, honestly, if you do, just mod the hell out of it to make it look okay. Not look, and improve some of the stuff.
But plus, you can do some janky stuff with the spell system.
Oh yeah,
I want to have
absolutely.
all of that.
But Wolf, W-U-L-F, I will get into a little bit later.
Okay.
He is supposedly an aspect of Tiber Septim after his death.
Really?
Yep. He is an Imperial, and that's basically Tiber Septim, or Wolf is like the face of the Septim coins.
Oh.
That you earn in video game.
Really?
Yep.
They don't have okay, interesting.
As said, before he conquered all of Tamriel, which is one of the continents on Nerd, which he started the Third Empire in the Septim Dynasty, because his last name was Septim.
Yep.
That would rule the Septim Dynasty would rule for centuries, because
until Oblivion.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was going through the timeline because of the page, and the Third Era goes for so long, dude.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's like
holy shit.
From what you've said before,
with
so
many septims and fucking
but the Third Era is also just like the Empire, and like that's
because we all know
kept going.
If we only played like Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim, we're playing in the Third and Fourth eras.
Yes. Well, I think the Third Era ends with Oblivion, right? Because that's when the
that I'm not too. I didn't go that
ends.
super down into that.
Gotcha.
In the timeline, because I was just worried. If I did, I would be reading out the entire timeline.
Yeah, no, I think that they start off, if I remember correctly, with Oblivion. They actually start off. It's the Third Era. The narrator.
It's the end of the Third Era.
Yeah.
That's why. Because spoiler. No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The last heir of Septim dies.
Right. Okay. So that's how they mark that era.
Martin Septim is the last living heir of the Septim lineage,
and he has to sacrifice.
himself.
Molag Bal.
Dagon.
Right. I don't know why I get those two mixed up. They are not the same character, but I get them mixed up all the fucking time.
Because at the end of Oblivion, he turns into a dragon aspect.
He turns into an aspect of Akatosh.
Yep, and then defeats Dagon, which is why. Yep.
Yeah.
So that is correct.
I need to replay that. I think I have it installed, but I need to get mods for it.
But we have that. He created the Septim Dynasty that will rule for centuries upon Tiber Septim's death in
whenever.
The eras work like when we did Mythic Era. It was ME 2500. It started there.
Right.
And then for the First Era, it's 1E, because First Era, and then the year. So 1E, let's say 200 is the year 200 in the First Era. Cyberteptum.
Cyberpunk.
Tiber Septim.
Why do you come?
Tiber Septim died in the Third Era on the 38th year.
Okay, so like he established it. So wait.
I have the timeline. I'm just giving.
So he died when he was 70 or something like that, approximately.
108.
Oh, shit. Okay.
It was believed that he ascended to the godhood as the hero god of mankind, and then of course the cult of Talos has been were established even 70 years before Talos died. Okay. I'm gonna call him Talos or Tiber Septim.
Yeah, it's all the same thing.
It's all the same thing. Yep. So 70 years before he died, this cult was made to, revere him in the highest form that they could for a mortal.
Heavy quotes.
Heavy quotes on mortal. But yeah, so, and then with that, his death, he was included into the 8 divines, which then became the 9 or the 8 and 1, depending who you talk to.
Fuck the Aldmeri Dominion. Fuck the elves.
Listen, man.
Fuck the high elves specifically. Like,
it's just however they want it to.
Weird. The dark elves are also kind of weird, but like, fuck the high elves.
Oh, the high elves. Well, yeah, they think they're better than everybody. But so this is one of the easy things about it is one of the rumors or
unconfirmed, unsubstantiated facts.
Yes.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Talos was his birth name.
Okay.
By some accounts, Talos was his birth name. Others say that his name was Hjalti Earlybeard. Nord.
Yep.
Nord.
I guess.
When he became the emperor of Tamriel. he adopted the new imperial name Tiber Septim.
Okay, that's fair.
No, but because there's no earlier accounts of ever any other Tiber Septim being in history before
that
his
point.
birth.
So, like, he made his name to be.
He changed it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So he's not an imperial. He's either a Breton or a Nord, depending who you talk to. One of the theories that presumed that the reason he was also called a Dragonborn was because he absorbed the essence of dragons, almost to the point of wiping them out from existence.
Okay, shit.
Which, when he became the deity, he resulted in the dragons becoming nearly extinct during the Third Era. That's why it's so crazy to see them in Skyrim.
Right. Because they were basically gone for 2 entire ages.
That's why you never saw them in Oblivion.
Nope, you never see them.
And then when you start Skyrim, it's the craziest shit to see.
They're not in Morrowind either, right?
Nope.
Yeah, because Morrowind is still in the Third Era.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, that's why in Skyrim you see dragons for the first time and people are like, oh my god,
damn,
a dragon, I saw a dragon. What is it now, mother? You know, that whole...
your specialty.
Some of the claims that arose for how his ascendancy became was that his divinity was a reward from the gods themselves upon his death. Because, he did so much and all that.
Dude was such a badass. We gotta add him.
According to the Nords, that is how he ascended, was that he was given divinity from the gods because they saw this mortal and was holy shit.
It's more of the classical, you just got worshipped enough that you got the power.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you have a cult started with you for 70 years, that not only was, it was revered by all Imperials, assimilated foreigners, people that came to the Empire, and even Nords themselves who created, well, not created, but had you in different name. But yeah, so that, for that, vast of them are the Imperial soldiers, colonists, and the assimilated foreigners that are followers of the cult, which then, had the most, the connotations of, you're a god now. You'll become a god when you die.
That's pretty chill.
Referred to as the One in the 8-in-1 thing, or the 9 Divines, depending... Because that's fine. We can call it the 9 Divines.
It's just easier
At this point in time, he is the 9 Divines because before then, he didn't exist.
Right.
So that's why it was always 8.
What if he was always a god the entire time?
Yeah, right? A decent chunk of the followers of the original 8 Divines still follow the old ways of honoring the 8, but they also kind of give their dues to Talos now. Because, oh shit, he ascended. But, elves.
Well, again... Specifically
high elves. Specifically the Elderly Dominion. They're like
the thing is, the Dunmer, the Dark Elves, they don't necessarily worship the 8. They worship 3 of the Daedra instead.
Yeah.
And the Wood Elves, if I remember correctly, they either worship the 9 or they just don't give a shit.
Yeah, I think that probably is a good.
Orcs, they worship them. I know they worship more like Baal, right? Yes, they worship Baal.
They would have to.
I'm not sure.
It's gonna be Dagon.
Dude, don't even. No, it might not even be Dagon. It might be a different one. But they worship a Daedra.
There's 17 Daedra princesses.
Got a might.
It's.
Oh my god, there is, isn't there?
9 Aedra and 17 Daedra.
Holy crap!
Let me double check my. Yep, 9 Aedra, 17 Daedra. So he was referred to as the One. While giving the dues to Talos, his connection to the Nords is. He was able to withstand the voice of the Greybeards, which you visit in Skyrim because
so he became Dragonborn.
That's how he got his thing to become a Dragonborn, to learn one of their prophecies, and was able to absorb essences of dragons. Talos became a Dragonborn, which a Dragonborn is essentially immortal, but you have the blood and the soul of a dragon.
I think it's just the soul of a dragon, technically.
Blood and the soul of a dragon, and you appear. TikTok, please. And they appear in the world in times of great need by the command of the gods.
I mean, yeah, it's fate or whatever.
It's a hero thing where it's like, the world is in its worst possible state.
Chosen one.
Literally.
Well, it's literally Akatosh, basically says, hey, need a mortal to do some shit on Earth, take dragon powers, bitch.
Yep. So this is where this one gets, when I was talking about Wolf earlier.
Uh-huh.
Supposedly, the aspect of Tiber Septim, Wolf, helped the Protector of Morrowind, which is your player character.
Right.
He appeared in Vardenfell in the Third Era, year 427, and at the time was suspicious that the rulership in the Third Empire was unstable and needed change, lest things got very messy, which
interesting
turns into, which alludes to at the time, we didn't know, the finality of the Septim bloodline, a la the Oblivion Crisis.
Oh, okay, so the stuff that happened in Morrowind, like, you were trying to prevent, or at least delay.
No, Morrowind, you were preventing a whole other thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You were preventing another...
He was just saying, okay, so he was just saying the shit that was going on needed to stop.
Who was the...
Or it would lead to the Oblivion Crisis.
I saw it when I was writing it. I don't remember. There was a deity or somebody...
Azura, maybe?
It started with a V?
Vermina?
It's not a Daedra.
Is it a Daedra? Or something else?
No, it's just like something... Because in Morrowind, you go to the Red Mountain, and then you fight an aspect or an avatar of the guy. That's gonna bug me.
I would not know then.
I do not remember. Fuck. That sucks, man. I was reading it last night, too, and I just don't remember, because I didn't write it down, because it just didn't matter at the time. Vivek!
What is it?
Vivek. You don't know who Vivek is.
I have never heard that name, I don't think.
Well, you didn't play Morrowind.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's the one major, I mean, I say one major, but like...
I don't know if he was a Daedra or just like some whatever, but...
Some creepy dude.
The end boss, basically, is you going to the Red Mountain and killing, like, an avatar of who...
This guy?
Yeah, Vivek was, like, you were trying to summon Vivek or whatever to...
Gotcha.
And you kill him. But, so Wolf was
we
like...
prefer unaliving on this podcast?
Murder!
Wholesale slaughter.
So Wolf was alluding in some of his dialogue that the Empire was getting bad, like it was on its last legs.
Okay.
And that's how the end of the Septim bloodline would come to be in the Oblivion Crisis, almost about six or 7 years after you see him in the year 427 of Third Era.
So Morrowind to Skyrim is, or not Morrowind to Oblivion is like just a few years?
Yeah, it says, the finality of the Septim bloodline, a la the Oblivion Crisis of 3E 433.
Damn. I ate.
And that's what eventually come to fruition when Martin dies, and then Titus Mede the First becomes
the
apparently
first
the first non-Septim.
Yeah. Wow, that's I didn't realize it was that short of a time. I'll
read the bullet point.
Your hero in Morrowind could still be alive, and probably is by the time you're playing in Oblivion.
Maybe
if it's that short.
It's that short of time. But so the Oblivion Crisis, we'll just do this one part where at least like some of Talos's what is the word for Talos's influence, I guess, or like how he half indirectly helps.
Influence would be the right term then.
So during the Oblivion Crisis, which are the events of the Oblivion video game, his influence would play the major part in which this is specifically in the Knights of Nine DLC.
Yeah, dude, I freaking love that. Like, it was short. I wish it was longer. Yeah, but it was still a fun ass DLC.
Oh yeah, it absolutely was. Where the player character at the time before he was the hero of Kvatch, and then he becomes the Divine Crusader.
That shit was that dude.
The player character has a DLC. Shit. He has a shit. Yeah, and the PC you play has a shit ton of titles,
to include Sheogorath, God of Madness.
Yeah. He would need the blessing of Talos to enter the Oblivion realm, Spirit realm.
Yep, I remember that.
To defeat Umaril the Unfeathered,
of the Aliens,
who is an Aliad, which are.
They're like OG elves.
Wild elves or Heartland elves, the OG ancestor elves who ruled over Cyrodiil in the First Era.
The reason why high elves are dicks. When they split off and diluted their bloodline, the high elves all became the dicks of the aliens.
Yeah, and Umaril was a immortal sorcerer king, and the last surviving of the... Because I think the Aliads technically got wiped out.
Yeah.
And I
think
I think there was a war or something like that.
I think Talos is the one that fucked him up.
And this Umaril was the last surviving immortal sorcerer king.
Yeah.
He was apparently supposedly a son of an Et Ada, alluding to that Akatosh had some involvement in Umaril being
brought into existence.
That's why he was supposedly immortal. Because in the DLC there's
you have to get some special
a character that tries to kill Umaril in the mortal plane,
but
only sends him back to Oblivion because he's immortal. That's why your character gets a blessing from Talos.
Yep.
At one of his specific, I think, shrine, and that which puts you into Oblivion for the DLC specifically.
Yep.
Into the realm to kill Umaril permanently.
God, that was such a good DLC. Just going around getting all the pieces and like lifting the curses and stuff associated with them and all that. Like that. Like I felt like a crusading holy knight on that.
In Oblivion. What's the main? It's just closing Oblivion gates.
Yeah, you go around. You
Dagon.
close the
Dagon's the main baddie, but you don't kill him. Martin Septim has to.
Yeah, you try to. So the thing is, you try to stop Dagon, but the cult. What were they called? Mythic Dawn. Thank you. Sorry. Listen.
No, I know what they were.
It's been a long time since I played
the Mythic Dawn.
But the Mythic Dawn, they actually end up like succeeding. They summon Dagon.
You're one person. You can't close everything.
No. It's literally you can't be everywhere at once, and everyone else just isn't as badass as you.
Yep.
So
not everybody can walk into a plane of oblivion and come back out.
They actually successfully summon Dagon, but then Martin Septim's like, by the power of my blood, I summon Akatosh, and Akatosh is just like, get the fuck back in your plane, bitch.
Yeah, because the amulet of kings and all that.
Reignite the dragon fire.
So yeah, upon his ascension to the 8 Divines, he became the 9. The 4th era. Yeah, the 4th era had the Great War between the Empire and the Aldmeri Dominion. Peace was eventually made, but one of the conditions...
Stop worshipping Talos.
That the Empire ceased to recognize Talos as one of the Divines. After word got out that the Empire wasn't really enforcing this ban, the Aldmeri Dominion sent out the Thalmor.
Mm-hmm.
Their own, crushing. Do we technically say that the Thalmor are like Nazis?
It's not inaccurate.
in the sense of like crushing anything that has to do with Talos worship.
Yeah, they're a lot more than just that. I'm going to say
I don't know what the correct.
It's not accurate.
Real world equivalent would be,
but it's not inaccurate either.
They crush resistance / crush. They silence and they jail and silence.
They're very secret police, definitely.
Yes, that's good enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Thalmor had all of Talos' shrines removed from the temples and towns that were loyal to the Empire. So removed everything, but you can still find.
Oh yeah. Well, no, not in those.
In Skyrim.
Not in those specific like cities and stuff.
Yeah.
You can't find them except like if you go into a house or something.
Personal shrines.
Secret personal shrines. Yeah.
But yeah, in Skyrim, where a lot of the Nords and how the Stormcloaks were, and then when that Civil War thing happened, but a lot of them rejected the Concordant that stated, "Hey, no Talos worship," but they're like, no.
Even Empire loyal ones, they're like,
no,
we're not going to work with that.
He was a significant part of history.
Yeah,
to us, to our people. So fuck off, you stupid elves, with your pointy ears. But so other than that, that's a small like snippet of what Talos, like how he came to be. I may as well read off the small timeline I have of him. And a few little bits after the fact.
Okay.
So we get a more concrete evidence of what...
Just general, he did this, and that.
So, he was supposedly born in the Second Era, the year 828.
Okay.
So that would make him 0 years old.
What?
In the year of 854 or 855, they're not too sure.
He was about 20.
Of the Second Era, about 26 or 27 if we're doing like the from the specifically 828. That's when he started his conquest of Tamriel. And he was known as General Talos before he took the name of Tiber Septim at that time.
All right, that's right. 26
or 27, starting the conquest of conquering an entire continent. Can't say that he was a great guy for conquering an entire continent. You can't say nobody can ever be.
Yeah, no, you're a conqueror. Like, that's not
believe it or not
a good thing.
Nothing in the timeline ever told anything about his war crimes that he probably committed.
Whoa, really?
In the year 895 of the Second Era,
did he want to record that?
He conquered all of Tamriel. So 40 years it took him to conquer the entire continent. So he's about 60-ish, 65-ish, his mid-60s.
Okay.
1 year later, in 896, he was crowned emperor.
And
that ended the Second Era. That's where the Second Era ended. So it's like, so the second era ends at 896. So I'm assuming 1 year later, at the start of the third era on year 0. The third era begins under Septim's orders, and that's when his dynasty began. He was about, I wrote down 60. Oh yeah, because 1 year makes him
it's a little bit
about 68 or 69.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay. That's where he began his reign. From the accounts, he wasn't bad as like
he
was very,
the third era in general, from what I understand, was
from
like
a lot of the septums,
more or less a golden age for the entire
besides
empire.
some of the ones that were considered mad or drunkards and crazies.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, like in the whole the general
span of it, the majority of it was they actually prospered a shit ton.
And not even just like the Empire, like, well, not just the Imperials like Cyrodiil, but the entire Empire, to include the Somerset Isles, you fucking high elf bitches.
Listen, we try to help them out, and what do? They just fucking say, nope, you're not allowed to worship him as a god because even though he is. Yeah, I know. But from year 0 in the third era, 38 years later, his rule will end with his death at 108, and his grandson, Pelagius Septim, will become the emperor.
Pelagius.
Yep. Pelagius Septim will become the emperor.
Mad.
No,
right.
That's a different one.
That was like Pelagius the Fourth or something like that.
Second or third. I was unable to get a proper thing.
I know it's not the third. I thought it was like the fourth.
This Pelagius, you said?
Pelagius, I think.
Pelagius Septim the First, we'll just call him. This one, he doesn't have any like notable shit online. You can't find anything on him. You can find the second or the third.
Well, you're not gonna find like
you cannot find
stuff on everything.
Oh no
on everyone.
No, I looked.
That makes sense because like I know that there's a I don't think it's Tiber Septim like the 17th or something. I don't think there's any other Tiber Septims, right?
Yeah, there is.
Oh,
maybe not. There's a lot of Uriel Septims.
There's one of them, the third, where he goes to like the Snake Continent or whatever, and I remember that. I know that's like. Of like the Elder Scrolls, like Kings, the Empires, I know that one pretty well. I read a lot of the books on it.
But yeah, the 38th year of the third era, Tiber Septim does pass away. I think of just old age or natural causes. It did not say
that's what they want you to think.
It did not say he was assassinated or anything like that. So at that time, then when he passes away, that's when he is supposedly given
emperor to not be assassinated.
He was supposedly given his ascendancy to godhood from all the shit that he's done in his entire life. That was the stuff. And then like this is where I had that section at the front, and then just a bunch of the other shit of like being a dragonborn and that.
Yeah.
So we'll do a few more bullet points on the timeline. The entire timeline thing, like I know it's like little condensed bits of.
But I'm guessing it jumps around a little bit.
Not really jumps around, but like it tells you, oh, this is who reigned. This is when they died. This is who reigned. Maybe some of them will be like, oh, this is where the Aelids or the Dwemer have like wrote down certain shit.
Real quick, for the ages, like the eras, right? Was it the first era ruled by the dragons, second era ruled by like the Aeliad Mer people, and then the third era ruled by men?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
I might after eventually, like for next time, I'll probably look into that a little bit to see, because the mythic era didn't last really long, because even though it recorded at 2500, it really didn't have like a state.
There's not a lot there.
Yeah.
Man, but we just got started. We didn't even build the Denny's yet.
So
not a lot to talk about.
3 years after Tiber Septim passes away and Pelagius becomes the new emperor, in the year 41 of the third era, Pelagius is assassinated.
God damn it.
Ending the direct Tiber Septim bloodline.
Wait, really? Pelagius didn't have any kids or nothing?
Pelagius did not have kids at all.
Oh my god.
He didn't, I don't know if just because he didn't want to. So the direct bloodline of Septim, done. But the overall general Septim bloodline.
So like
still
nephews or some shit, probably.
Yeah, so unknown assassins from the Dark Brotherhood killed Pelagius.
Okay, fair.
When he was praying in a temple. Not to his dad, of course. I think he was. Only 3 years as an emperor.
Turns out the priesthood of Talos is the one that hired the Dark Brotherhood.
Not his father, yeah. Only 3 years as an emperor, but touted as just as strong as his grandfather. So Tiber Septim was his grandfather.
Okay. So We're missing one.
Yeah, I don't know how, because it...
Oh, no. It doesn't always go father to son. Sometimes it does skip over to, like, grandkid or something. Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense.
Direct bloodline. Yep. Yeah. So, the same year, Kintyra. Kintra?
Okay. We'll work with that.
Kintra Septim is crowned empress. The first female emperor.
You go, girl.
Ever. Yep. She's the third monarch. Of course, because Tiber, Pelagius, and
so when did she get assassinated?
She was the first cousin of Pelagius and the first empress. So she was a first cousin of Pelagius. Because she is the daughter of Tiber's Septim's brother.
Okay. I'm tracking. Keep going.
She's the daughter of Tiber Septim's brother. So Tiber Septim had a brother.
Yeah.
And that brother had a child who became the empress. It's easy to follow. Legitimately, it is.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I am not confused here. I don't know why you're continuing to explain it.
You're looking confused.
I am tracking.
His brother Agnorith had the daughter. Yep.
Agnorith.
Yep. Her reign saw much, much prosperity, bountiful harvests.
I mean, like I said, most of the third era was like just golden.
Third era was amazing, supposedly. Yeah.
A lot of progress was made.
Yeah. Accounts say that she was an avid patron of the arts, music, and dance, so that is always good.
Chill.
But toxic masculinity of video game lore.
Yeah.
Of course, it had to be a woman.
Yeah.
Right? That liked music, dance, and arts. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's, it's fine. But yeah, she died of natural causes, actually.
Or so they say. The Dark Brotherhood's kind of what they do.
They're just killing them all. She died of natural causes 7 years later in the year 48 of the Third Era.
I like to think it's tradition anytime there's a new emperor that should be crowned, the Dark Brotherhood come up and just kill the other one, the most recent one.
But yeah, in the year 48 of the Third Era, she passes away from natural causes, and Uriel Septim I is then crowned emperor.
Uriel comes up a lot, and not
there's
always,
like 4 iterations.
And
of
I don't think
Septim.
Most of them are good.
No, I think Uriel Septim might. He's not the Mad King. I think Pelagius the second. Yeah, no,
Pelagius the second. I thought it was the fourth, but
the fourth.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, if I because the funny thing about the timeline,
the thing that fucks up the Pelagius Mad.
Yeah,
it was 100% his mother's fault.
Oh, of course.
She actively made him a madman so that she could take the throne.
Listen, man. If they want to do what they want to do, that's perfectly okay.
Oh my god, that one was like, you feel bad for the guy, which is saying something because he was a mad murderer.
Oh my god, I'm looking it up right now.
Fuck. What do we got?
The first era. It starts from, because this iPad is it can't load.
Yeah.
It goes from, so the 25
from 0 year.
So from first era 0. Okay. So let's just do a quick timeline thing.
Gotcha.
The Merithic era, the Mythic era, starts ME 2500. The end of that is supposedly around the first era of 660. The 660th year of the first era.
So 2500 is the Merithic era.
2500 starts it. So it
start.
So yeah.
So 0 year was even before that.
So 2500 to 0. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the Merithic era is like BC basically.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because it says the end of the Merithic era was around the first era, 660 of the first era.
And first era is recorded as 0?
Is recorded the first century. Yeah, the first era is 0.
Okay.
That goes all the way. Holy shit. That has a lot of. What the fuck, man? That goes all the way to the year 2920 of the first era. So from year 0 to year 2920 is the entire first era.
All right.
The second era starts at the year 0. That only goes. Oh shit, does it actually go farther? That only goes up to 896.
Oh, wow. That's a relatively short era.
Then third era starts.
That was the long one, right?
Of what? Second era?
Like of the era? No, the third era.
The third era starts at year 0.
Okay.
And it goes all the way to 433. Oblivion Crisis.
Really?
Yeah, eras are
the
emperors.
I get that. I just I thought the third era was longer than that.
And then
it's only like 400 years?
About 400.
Wow.
Unless this timeline is only picking like no, because that's 433 years. Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, so whatever happened to that first era for 2,900 years. I'll have to look into that one.
That'll be interesting.
The fourth era started at 0. Cause fuck. That only went for 189 years.
Wait, I thought the fourth era was because that's between.
Oh, sorry,
Oblivion
201
Skyrim,
years.
Right?
My bad.
I thought that was 400 years.
I can double check for you real quick.
From the Oblivion Crisis to start of Skyrim.
Oblivion. Okay, so you want to know the Oblivion Crisis to the start of Skyrim,
right?
So let's go back up. That went way past.
It should be the end of the third era.
So end of third era was 433. Here's 433.
Okay.
Oblivion takes place during this year. The Oblivion Crisis occurs in 433 of the third era.
All right.
Uriel Septim VII is assassinated by the Mythic Dawn. You play the game, so that's all that. A new hero, the Prisoner. Martin Septim is crowned the Emperor. He sacrifices himself to the Imperial City to banish Dagon.
Yep.
Dagon from Nirn and save the people of the Empire. His death ends the third era and begins the fourth era.
So that's all in what was it, 833 you said?
433 of the third era
433.
is the Oblivion Crisis and the end of the third era.
Gotcha.
Let's see. It ends the Septim Dynasty completely.
Right.
Because he's the last one. The destruction of the Amulet.
So when does Skyrim start?
Skyrim.
So we're in 0 year of the fourth era, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So Skyrim starts. The Argonians invaded Morrowind. That's really interesting.
Yep, I remember reading about that.
The novel. Holy shit!
It's actually kind of hilarious how the Argonians dealt with the Oblivion Crisis. They literally just kind of like grouped up and said, "Go get them, boys," and just flooded the gates.
Elder Scrolls Blades. I'm not seeing it. Battle of the Red Ring.
Keep going.
Ulfric Stormcloak as a militia retake the Reach in Markarth from the Reachmen.
All right, what year is that?
That's 176.
Really? It's only like 200 years? I thought it was 400. What am I thinking of? Maybe I'm thinking end of Skyrim to beginning of ESO. That might be what I'm thinking of.
Maybe. Cicero becomes the Keeper of the Night Mother in 189. The events of Return to Clockwork City?
No clue. Probably a book.
Oh, here it is. Fourth era, year 201. Microphone, please, don't do that. It's like so small, but it's good. The events of Skyrim take place this year in 4E201, the final year of the fourth era.
Huh. Well, yeah, because that's when the dragons came back. That was a significant enough event to say, hey,
Torrig is killed by Ulfric.
So did they just like start having the length of the eras? No, because they did like 2,000 something. Then they went to 800.
The first era was 2,900 years. The second era was almost 900. The third era was
8,
almost like 8 and some change. This one was only 200.
Wow.
Let's see. The events of Dragonborn take place.
Because I know the events. I can't say they were a Dark Age per se, but like not a lot of stuff happened between Oblivion and Skyrim, other than like the war and the split of the Empire.
Yeah. So apparently, like this says, there's some timeline conflict. So due to the nature of history itself, sometimes dates and events come into conflict.
Yeah.
This occurs in real life, but it also occurs in Elder Scrolls lore occasionally too. So a lot of them, it's like certain things are disputed of when certain.
So anyway, we have gone on a massive tangent.
No, that's fine because that's what we need just to figure all that out. But like I said, because the timeline of the stuff is like a shit ton of.
Yeah,
it's like small years because it's the third era is such an confined space of what? Did we say 500? 800?
800 for the third era. Or no, 400 for the third
400 era. For the third era. So it's such a confined timeline that mostly a shit ton of the emperors just were getting offed or passed away naturally. But yeah,
we say in quotes because we know even whenever they were great emperors and no one had them killed, the Dark Brotherhood was there to finish the job.
But so
dying old in their bed, like this is the day they're gonna die naturally. Yeah. The Dark Brotherhood show up anyway and stab them.
But yeah, after that,
damn,
trying to figure out at least. I mean, it's good to figure out how the events of the game.
We should actually do an episode on just like the different emperors of the Third Era besides just Talos. That would be pretty cool.
Well, I mean, Pelagius the First lived for 3 years. That's it.
Well, that's impressive.
No, but like his note thing was like maybe a few sentences.
It was literally that sentence.
It's like, oh yeah, he became the emperor and then he died. And then his like first cousin became the empress.
Some of the other ones are pretty cool, and I know that like there's a lot of stuff that goes into a lot of political intrigue and stuff, and like.
Well, yeah. So that's a broad, not a broad thing of Talos, but that's how he became a god, and he became into the sanction of being part of the Nine Divines. Going into the 9 Divines.
We believe in the 9 in this house, damn it.
Because that's why in the second episode it was 8 Divines. It was the 8 Divines initially, right? Because time didn't exist, and this motherfucker didn't exist for. If we're counting the first era and the second era, technically he didn't exist for almost like 3,000 years.
Yeah.
If we're also including the Mythic era. Which was before.
Yeah, that could have been like another 4,000,
almost at least 4,000 or 5,000 years. Tiber Septim did not exist.
Damn.
That's when the 8 Divines were worshipped for about 4,000 or 5,000 years before Septim even showed up. Even was born.
But then he showed up and decided, all right, unite the people,
unite the entire continent, kill all the dragons.
Damn, fucking badass.
That's why people love him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better to understand now because in like when I play Skyrim and that shit, I'd be like. Fuck man, I keep hearing about Talos.
Oh no, well,
why did I like? He's banned.
Did you ever play Oblivion? I don't know.
I played it on the 360. I got the Game of the Year edition.
Okay.
I got all the fucking achievements at like 3 a.m. I finished the game. I did all the DLCs. I bought the horse armor. I bought the horse armor.
God damn it!
That's where it all went downhill.
Yep. Everyone blames the horse armor.
But yeah, so that's the story of Talos.
Pretty cool stuff.
Tiber Septim, Hjalti, Earlybeard, Dragonborn, Ysmir.
I have never heard. I've heard everything except for Hjalti, Earlybeard.
The kind of unconfirmed reports that that's why they don't know if he was either Breton or Nord.
Gotcha.
But we know for a fact he was not an Imperial.
Yep. Which is kind of interesting because you would think the Imperials weren't formed until the Empire.
That's something to look up. Is probably how the Imperials came to be. That might be another topic.
That would be an
like a subtopic thing,
or even just like the one like for all of them. Do all the Mer and then do all the men and then do all these races.
I could, but it's like
I think the Khajiit actually do have some lore like how they were initially created.
Yeah, probably the Khajiit, Argonians, and all that. But yeah, that'll be it for this one. I think that's where we can stop because that's a little bit
a little over our normal time.
That's going to be fun to edit. I mean,
it's not going to be that bad.
It's because a lot of it, most likely, we didn't have any. I don't believe we had a lot of like dead air shit or Oz and all that. Bad. And a lot of it is kind of interesting, actually having a formed timeline of what he did. Because he's a super important role.
Seriously.
In becoming a god.
Not even just in like Skyrim, but like in all
the
games.
Elder Scrolls lore.
At least the main ones.
I want to keep saying ESO lore because it's easier to say ESO instead of Elder Scrolls.
I mean, it is ESO too, technically. You know, it's Elder Scrolls Online.
It's ES lore.
I've playing that sometime.
Eventually. They just came out with they did a new reveal trailer for their next expansion.
What are they doing?
Necron or Necrom? I do not know what it is. I just saw the name of the trailer.
Huh.
So there's probably a cinematic.
Well, I haven't done anything past the base game, so
I want to play the stories of the expansions and the games like in order. They have the wiki page for it to be like, this is how you play it. I should just do it, get it done. But we play Final Fantasy. We play other games.
Listen, we're almost done with Stormblood.
Base Stormblood, not even post. Not even post.
We just gotta grind it out, man.
Oh my god. But okay. That will end our tirade.
Thank you so much for joining us, everyone.
Oh, lordy. This will be fun to see how much that has to edit out. But all right, that will be it from us.
We'll be back in a couple weeks.
Yep, usual.
Yep. We'll probably be back with more Mass Effect. I think I have 2 more topics I want to cover Mass Effect.
Eventually, I mean, probably the email, noobguidingnoob@gmail.com.
Yep.
If you have any
suggestions or whatever,
random things, because I always thought we should
just try
to do a mini episode. I don't know how we would do mini episodes on anything if it's not even like a super big topic.
We'll figure it out.
But also that, and then eventually, if this somehow can be put onto platforms, reviews and all that, 5-star only. If you have any complaints or comments, those are the other ones we'll read. But yeah, alrighty, that'll be it from us, and
y'all have a good one.
Signing out.